Alright, here we are. We are now going to talk about endurance. Endurance is going to be the last of our colors. And we'll move on to neutral, which is colorless. Endurance, purple. These are what you can expect here. You can see there are cards that involve healing and regeneration. Cards that just have a big honkin' stat line for their cost. And then there are cards that transform or change creatures. This is the way that purple has removal and answers to things. And then there is discard interaction, which is a very strong thing that we will get to in a bit. So, first things first, healing and regeneration. Healing hands is an action, heal a creature, then give it +1/+1. Almalexia's Disciple. Heal all friendly creatures. This is an exalt effect, so for 2 extra magicka, it does this. Frost Giant, a card that sees nearly no play, although to be fair, it has a good stat line just for its cost. Though people generally want to do more with 8 magicka than just drop a creature on the board. Anyways, so this has regenerate, and when a creature heals, you gain that much health. I think there are ways that this could be used effectively, but they have not yet been explored in a competitive, viable way. Hackwing Feather gives regenerate to a creature and +1/+3. Regeneration and healing are not usually seen as very strong effects in Elder Scrolls Legends, but you will usually see them in purple. We also have creatures that are hard to get rid of. So we saw with Young Mammoth, this has a large stat line for its cost. Same with Bleak Coast Troll. Cards that are just very good on curve. Windkeep Spellsword accomplishes the same thing, not by having more stats than its cost, but by also having ward. You see a number of ward creatures in purple, and then Nahagleave does it in a different way. It's a 7/7 with guard, with the text, your opponent can't target Nahagleave with actions, so your opponent can't use that javelin on Nahagleave. Nahagleave's going to stick around unless your opponent kills it. These type of things are what make endurance a good mid-range, or maybe sometimes a little bit slower of an aggro deck, because you're still kind of playing for the board. And then we have removal based on transformation and changing stat lines. So Lay Down Arms, there are a few different cards like this. This sets a creature's power and health to 1. So it's neutralizing the threat by making it no longer worth its cost, right? Hallowed Death Priest. Well, first we'll talk about Mummify. Mummify Prophecy. Alright, that's good. Transform a creature into a 2/2 shriveled mummy. So you can use that on, say, your opponent's Parthenax. Keep it from being soul teared back. You can use it on a big old charge creature. You can use it on a fat guard that you're trying to get past. Useful card. Hallowed Death Priest basically casts Mummify on the highest cost creature in your opponent's hand. Very, very strong card in the right deck. Waves of the Fallen is a card that sees no play because it's just not all that useful. But here's what it does. Transform all enemy creatures in a lane into 2/2 Stricken Draggers, so it's basically a lane-wide Mummify. Or transform all friendly creatures in a lane into 5/5 Hulking Draggers. So it is alternatively 4 mummifies, which is alright for its cost. Or it can beef up some of your own creatures and you can go for lethal. The only thing is that you can't attack with creatures that are transformed this turn. That's probably why it doesn't see play either way. And then we have as well cards with discard interaction. This is one of the stronger effects that we can see in Endurance. Soul Tear is the face of this by far. It's a shout, draw a creature from your discard pile. This upgrades to draw a creature from your discard pile and give it +2/+2, and give it +4/+4 or +5/5. I can't recall off the top of my head. Skeletal Dragon is a guard. It gives all creatures in your discard pile +2/+2. This will stack with whatever buffs you get off of Soul Tear. And Last Gasp, draw another random creature from your discard pile. Falkreath Defiler has Slay, summon a creature from your discard pile. In the right decks, you can discard, say, an Iron Atronach or something really high costed early on, and then use Falkreath Defiler and his Slay effect to summon that creature way before what you would, the turn that you would be able to otherwise. By slaying, you can summon any creature from your discard pile. And Fleshed Atronach, summon +1/+1 for each creature in your discard pile. This is a different kind of discard interaction. It doesn't focus on bringing stuff back. It focuses on keeping stuff in there, more or less. Very vulnerable to silence effects, though, so that's why it doesn't see a whole lot of play. Alright, so this is what you can expect from purple. It's a little bit more straightforward of a color. Big, hard to remove creatures, healing creatures, transforming creatures, and discard interaction. That's what you can expect to find in Endurance. So, next video will be on Neutral, which is a fun little mixed bag. We'll talk about that in a bit.